Good morning, guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to move on to solving for the hypotenuse in Pythagorean theorem. So, so Pythagorean theorem, finding hypotenuse, which is C, our longest side. First thing we need to know is this only works for right triangles, right? We're using Pythagorean theorem only for right triangles. So in a right triangle, the two sides adjacent, that means connected, like this, that make a right angle, to the right angle are known as the legs, or A and B. So this would be A and B. Okay, so adjacent means they're touching at the right angle, which they are. The side opposite from the right angle is called the hypotenuse, or C. The hypotenuse is always the longest side of the right triangle. The Pythagorean theorem tells us how the side lengths of right triangles are related. In any right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. More simply stated, we can use the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So before we begin, we are going to label these triangles with A, B, and C just so we know. Remember, A and B are where the right angle meets. So A, B, C is across. So on this one, C is across. A and B are where the right angle meets. Again, C is across. A and B are where the right angle meets. C is across. A and B are where the right angle meets. So this is how yours should look. Now let's get into the steps. So first step is to write the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Step 2 says plug in for a and b. So a, b, I am going to plug in. So a is 3 squared plus b is 4 squared. This equals, we're literally going to put c squared. Okay, so I plugged in for a and b. So solve these exponents. So we're just paying attention to this side. So 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16. Next, we're going to add 9 and 16 is 25, which equals c squared. Next, to get rid of this squared, we are taking the square root. So I'm going to do 25 c squared. So we are taking the square root of both sides. This cancels out, so the square root of 25 is 5. And that is my hypotenuse. C equals 5 inches. And that's it. Let's go ahead and flip to the other side. So solve for the missing side. Remember, A is your smallest side, B is your middle side. So it doesn't really matter where the numbers are placed, but you need to make sure you're labeling things correctly. Like A is going to be your shortest side, B is going to be the middle, and C is across from the right angle. So again, we are plugging in what we know. We know this is going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I know a and b. So a is 14 squared. B is 20 squared. And I don't know what c is, so c squared. So again, we are squaring this, so 14 squared and 20 squared, and then we're adding those together. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in one step. 14 squared plus 20 squared. Only because this is what we already did for the converse, so it might be a little easier instead of having to do 14 squared, 20 squared, and then add. So this gives us 596. And that equals c squared. So my next step is to take the square root. So square root of 596. As we can see, it goes out a long way. So we're going to go to the nearest tenth, which is 1 right after the decimal. So c is 24.4. Box in your answer so we know. Next problem, example 3. Again, label your c so that you know. A is our shortest side, B is our middle side. Write out your equation, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A is 8, B is 15, and I don't know c squared. So now we can do 8 squared plus 15 squared. This is 289. Equals c squared. So again, to figure out c, I take the square root of both sides. So square root is our little check mark division button. 17. And I did forget something. This would be feet. This one is inches. Okay, so now I want to know what the area of this square is. So in order to figure out the area, I need a side length. So I need my side length, which is what I got to figure out. And there is actually, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. That way you know both ways. So first thing, we're going to find these side lengths. So square root of 36 is 6. I'm going to put 6 units. Square root of 64 is 8. So 8 units. So 6 units, 8 units. So this is a squared and b squared. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 100. If I take the square root of 100, that gives me 10. So I know that my side length here is 10 units. However, I know that to get the area, I just square this. So 10 squared is actually 100. So my area is 100. The other way that you could do this is because you're already given the areas. Remember, in our converse notes, we said that the area of A and B combined gives us the area of C. So 36 plus 64 should give me 100. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 100. So either method is good. You just need to check to see, did they give me a side length? Did they give me an area? What did I get? Did I get a perimeter? It all depends. Remember, units squared is area. So this is units squared. Just units is perimeter or a side length. And that's pretty much it. So good luck. Bye guys.